Hey, welcome back to the Noonchi podcast.
What's up, everybody?
안녕하십니까?
Just let's not do it. Just,
You're the one that's been here like the longest.
Yeah. You're a failure to
I know.
Kyopos. You're a bad example.
Shouldn't you be like? You should
Anyway, we got a guest today, all the way from LA, Hollywood, California. We have a good friend of ours, Christine, Minji, Kim. What do you want to go
Kim.
by?
Chang.
Are you thinking
Chang,
of Christine
sorry.
Kim
No,
from
no,
collab?
I'm sorry.
Minji Chang.
Minji Chang. Is that your stage name too?
No, it's just my. Oh yeah, actually,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
I
is?
guess.
So you dropped the
Chang.
Christine?
I haven't gone by Christine since college. So anyone that's called me Christine, I was like,
Yeah.
you don't know me.
Yeah.
Okay. But I call you Minji. I just
Yeah.
don't know, like, you
Yeah,
know.
her last name. That's what you don't know. You fucking asshole.
No, everyone mixes me up with Christine Kim from Collaboration.
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
So I
I
get
don't. Though. I just messed up.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You're working hard, Bobby. You're a father, so I forgive you.
I do have excuses,
Yeah.
but
None of them are valid, to be honest. Yeah. So I've known Minji. We were talking about before the camera rolled. I met her when she was in college.
This is all a blur to me because
Yeah.
in my head, this is how we know we're like
Yeah.
getting up there because
Right.
all the memories start to drift.
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought
just
we
like-
met because of Collaboration years after college.
Yeah.
That's what I had in my head. And
Yeah.
he's just now reviving memories. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, that did happen. And
Yeah.
I had no idea.
When she was in college, I performed at her university. I've done it like maybe 3-4 times. And then I think I've done Collaboration once up there.
up in Berkeley.
Yes.
Yeah.
In San Francisco.
Yeah.
Those
So
are good times.
Yeah.
Innocent times.
yes, when we still had hopes, dreams, I had hair.
Well,
Danny got me a
Those
gig
days.
there too one time.
Huh?
So I flew up with Danny one time to Berkeley.
I was
And did
curious
a
when,
show.
because someone asked me, when did you
Yeah.
meet Bobby? And I couldn't remember. Because
Yeah.
I know I've gone to your South by Southwest shows. Those are very
Yeah.
like solid memories, but I don't
Yeah.
remember when we actually met and spoke.
I can't remember most people in LA how I met.
we did
Danny is like-
Berkeley the weekend of our K-Town Cowboys web series premiere.
Was it? That's a
'Cause-
big
Yeah.
weekend.
Right. Yes.
We actually did that show and then
then
we flew
flew back.
to the premiere.
Yes.
Together,
yes,
right?
The next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Straight to
Thank
the
you.
That's
Yeah.
that's 2012 or 13. I want
Yeah,
to say.
yeah. Berkeley
Yes.
show was 2013,
No.
12.
Yes.
No, 2011.
It was before I moved to Korea. I moved to Korea in 2011. So it had to be
2010. then.
2010
yeah.
was San Francisco. 2011 was Berkeley.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had to be
Yeah.
before I moved to Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've known each other for a while, but
Yeah, quite a while.
even then, Bobby doesn't know Minji's last name.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I do know it. It's just like, come on.
Yeah.
I forgive him, but he doesn't.
So I mean, for our listeners, Minji, she's an actress, she's a podcaster, she's a writer, she's delving into all parts of the industry in terms of wanting to be in front of it, in front of the camera, behind the camera.
Correct.
And you probably heard her voice somewhere, like in some sort of like advertisement or
I've infiltrated a lot of people's brains unknowingly. And
Yeah.
some people, it's funny because I have friends who can automatically tell that it's me. And I have
Yeah.
a ton of people who are like, I did not know that was you. And they've heard the commercial.
Yeah.
And they're just like, that sounds like a completely different person.
Okay, which one would, because, most of our listeners are from back home.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is like your kind of like, yo, that was me? Like, which one do you?
that you can talk about.
Yeah.
there's always
Well,
like-
yeah, exactly. The Google one, that was during March Madness. That was a really cool one. I did something with Google for NCAA. That was really cool. I got booked that one because they told me that I reminded them of Aquafina, which is like a really lovely compliment because I love Nora's voice.
Yeah, you do kind of sound like Nora.
I had more of a
Yeah.
rasp at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
too.
Okay.
So they're like, oh, you sound like
She
you know,
does have a
someone who we know. Like they wanted someone who feels like it's your friend. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's great. It's a great compliment. Then I've done
and they couldn't afford Nora.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I'm the poor man. I'll claim that. I'm fine with it. I have, hi Nora. And I've done Etsy, Sephora, Samsung. I don't know like what people might have heard, but I'm pretty proud of those. They're fun, they're meaningful. Like some of them are just all tech. Some of them are like really girly, and I'm like, oh, okay. I don't.
If you ever move to Korea, we could get you voice acting gigs.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
Because there's a like a big need for voiceover in English.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So from reading English textbooks, like Minsu went to the farm. Right. From
That
there,
was my life.
right. From there all the way to like,
Commercials
like, commercial
and-
spots
yeah.
and
This
stuff.
is
stuff like-
a black cup.
Yeah.
But
Man.
even doing the voiceovers for like Netflix shows and and
Yeah.
stuff like that, people actually do the
Dubbing.
dubbing.
Yeah.
I'm diving
really
into
well,
that
right?
world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty close to doing a show. It's hard.
Do you I mean, dubbing is one thing, but do you also have to like be concerned about matching the mouth a little bit?
That's
right?
why it's hard. Like
Right.
it's not like you're just reading a script and being a character.
Right.
You have to exactly as closely to the emotion, to the timing, to the
Yeah.
breath
Yeah.
of the original actor. And you're like, damn, I don't have a lot to work with here. But yeah, I auditioned. It was really, really fun, but it gave me so much respect for people who do it regularly because I was like, this is a different skill set.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I'm not following an actor when I do my thing.
Because when we were kids, dubbing technology was atrocious.
Kung
right?
fu, like
Yeah.
a kung
Yeah.
fu show is like an
Yeah.
And then you hear the voice.
That feels
10
like
minutes later.
that feels like every 80s comedian like joke about Asians.
your
back then.
tiger technique.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I love this. Like it was terrible. Yeah.
So what brings you to Korea, Minji?
Twofold, very different things. One is family. I paid my respects to my grandmother who passed away during COVID.
Oh.
And we could not get together, do that for her until now, it was very, very meaningful. So I got to come with my family, first time with my parents here in like 20 years. So that was cool. But then also I want to just like check out the industry. So I've been trying to meet as many people and learn and just listen and exchange like what the heck's going on and understand the nuts and bolts of it. It's been a very interesting, I told you this outside. It's been a very interesting process to like break down what my preconceived notions are and then to actually, be open to learn, like get educated on it without my bias like kicking in. Cause I have a ton of it. Like whenever I come here, I realize I have a lot of bias.
Yeah.
Like my version of Korea.
Most people
and the
do.
culture.
Yeah.
Especially when it's been a long time since you've been here.
It's only been
Like-
6 years, but I think a lot.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah. A lot changes like even year to year.
Yeah.
So 6 years, I can't even remember what it was like then, but something good that's happened in the last 6 years, I would say. I think burgers are up to speed. Like you can get a decent burger now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can you?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You really can.
Tell me where.
Although I kind of don't.
No, his taste bud is fucked.
I'm
right?
Korean
So-
now.
Yeah, that's what
Like
I'm saying.
my Korean taste buds.
Your palate has probably
Everything in
adjusted.
the States is too salty for me. Everything
fair.
outside of Korea is too salty for me.
Everything in Korea is too sweet.
That's true.
Yeah.
That
It
is true.
wild
Right.
how like sugary stuff is here.
So by the way, she went to school up north in the Bay.
Yeah, in the Bay
So
Area.
now Super Duper is coming to Korea soon.
Okay,
So
What's that?
It's a San Francisco burger chain.
I didn't know that. I never heard of Super Duper.
Super Duper is fucking
I don't.
fantastic.
Is
really?
In San Francisco. I don't know if it's going to be
What's
the same
special
here.
about it? Is it like an In and Out, like a freshly
See, I'm an
made
In and
burger
Out.
kind of thing?
I don't know what you're thinking. Yeah, I'm an In and Out. Like
They say, well, in San Francisco, they say that this is like, what do you call it? Like organic, non whatever.
They
like,
started out that way.
yeah, the healthy burger or whatever. So like I've had it and I was like, it's
Super duper.
it's Super Duper.
it's clean.
It'll
It
clear
feel-
up your acne.
it'll-
it'll
yeah. Koreans will love
it'll
that.
actually
Yeah.
clear your cholesterol.
Yeah. if it does that, I'll be like, yo, man, I'm all in. Like
Endorsement.
But like I feel like the burgers have gotten better. But again, like, you're in fucking Korea.
Yeah, exactly.
Eat Korean
Yeah.
food.
I'm
Like,
not here for burgers.
yeah. That's what
I don't know.
that's what I tell people. Like they go, oh, I want a good pizza, motherfucker. Then go to,
Go to Italy.
Yeah.
Go to New York then or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's the complaint. Like I do miss like the taco truck type of shit.
But that's even gotten
so
better
good.
too. Wouldn't you say? The tacos in
they
the
have
last
taco
5
trucks
years.
here? Esque?
Not taco trucks, but like
proper taqueria kind of
It's gotten better
good.
year after year.
year after year.
See, I would not expect it. I'm with you on that. I do pass a bit of I'm a little whatever with Gordon Ramsay on that. But like I also don't blame it. I'm not expecting
Yeah.
a LA taco here.
Yeah, I know.
I
But
don't
for
want
us that
cabeza
live here,
and soul.
Yeah.
Like,
for us that live here, it's kind of a big deal when
Yeah.
a new spot opens up, and like it's a little bit better than the last.
Because
That's
we
good.
want
That's good.
because we want to like, I mean, as much as, you know, I'm a big fan of Korean food, like sometimes like, you know what, I kind of want a decent burger or slice of pizza or tacos or
for
whatever.
sure.
Right. But for example, like cilantro
Yeah,
tastes different here.
it does taste. It's not as strong.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just green to me here.
Yeah, sometimes
It's not
it's just.
soapy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like there's no taste.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Interesting.
that's weird.
Yeah.
I can't do. I'm trying to adapt because it's in so many key things. I love like Vietnamese food and like Mexican food, but I still
You still can't do it.
It's gotten a lot better, and I'm
Okay.
grateful for that because now I can enjoy the food without having to like pick shit out.
Yeah.
Really. But it's still an issue. But if
Yeah.
it doesn't taste like anything, that's a wild concept to me.
Yeah.
Because I see cilantro, I'm like,
It's
You might
not as
like it
strong.
here then.
It's not as
Yeah.
strong
You might like it
as
here.
back home.
I did see a pho place, and I was wondering like where I could see other cuisines, and so I saw a pho, and I was
Yeah.
like, I want to try that, but then
That's another thing. Like pho, they have decent places, but not great places, and also they don't give you cilantro unless you ask for it. Like it doesn't even come out.
But
like,
it's good for her because she doesn't like that shit anyway.
yeah,
so
it's
Yeah,
nice
but-
having like taken out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you should try it and see for yourself.
She's leaving
it's not
tomorrow,
that
bro.
strong. Like,
Follow back. No,
Yeah.
this trip solidified that like. I mean, it was a very enjoyable. Overall, I had a great time. But then, as it is with this, my version of being Korean, that there's so many layers to like what impacts an experience. Like it was really great, but it was also there was a lot of crying, and there was a lot of like, you know, like healing process that I was going through here by just being around family again that I haven't seen in a while. Them having feedback on how I grew up, on my family, which is all like entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
But it like as a grown woman now, it hits me different because I have so much more life to like reference that I'm like, oh shit, that's why I am the way that I am. Or like, oh, they remember that incident that blah, blah, blah with XYZ family member. It all hits so different like now that I have lived life a lot more. So it was a lot. That's why it was really, really fun, but it wasn't like, oh, it's just like eating and like having a good time. It was some deep, deep stuff that, I mean, that's my nature too. So I think my brain goes there anyway. So it was a lot, but then I really want to come back and continue just like enjoy Korea. And like, it was just intense because you're trying to like concentrate so much stuff into like a 2-week period.
But now you know, like there's plenty to come back for.
Yeah.
It's like so much is happening here, and by the time that next time you make it out here, something new is gonna.
Oh, I'm
Yeah. I mean, because you know, Korea is very, very quick on the trends. It just quick, like changes, right? So like I always say that when I first came here not to visit, but like to move here, the thing that everyone had was or like a bunch of was, you know, like the claw machine, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was opening the fucking claw machine.
I don't see those anymore. You're right.
And then they shut that down, and then that became maratang chips.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What is that?
Maratang is like that Chinese
Szechuan
pepper,
Okay.
like so it was like soupy noodles, whatever, right?
Why did all of the claw machines convert into that specific?
Because that's the next hot thing. So like if the claw machines ain't doing well, only a few of them that continue to do well stayed, and then they all flipped it to this stuff.
The
right?
thing that's popular now is the photo like
Yeah.
Foods are everywhere. I did not see that last time I was here.
So it changes. Like I've been here 5 years, and I saw 3 trends just come and go. Right. And now we're waiting for the next, whatever that trend is. Right. So I feel like, you know, things catch on really fast, and then they just go by the wayside really fast too. You know what I mean?
A lot of those places are popping up where it's like there's no one working there.
Yeah.
It's all like self-serve.
Yeah.
Like ice cream ice cream 편의점s,
Right.
basically where you just scan everything yourself and just pay for it.
Yeah.
So everything here is like, CCTV, no one steals stuff. So you can actually go in and just
Bro.
like buy your own.
I walked into Coex
Yeah.
Mall on the chance I needed a bag, and it was like 10:30 at night. I knew it was not open, but my brother and I were American as hell. We're like, let's just go see what happens. And like we go and it's open, and I was like, what the?
Yeah.
And we walk in, and there's like a tiny little rope around the clothes. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
bro, if I wanted to steal all this, I could just take it right now and walk right out.
Yeah.
And all of these, well, the actual storefronts had doors, but everything in the center,
Yeah.
it was all just there.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is wild to me.
Yeah.
In America, we just have a bunch of hooligans like ransacking everything and going like this
Yeah.
to the security camera
Yep.
running off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing. Like I know it's a issue in the States, like stealing people's mail and their like Amazon packages,
Yeah.
all that
Just
stuff.
happened in
Yeah.
the building
Yeah.
Oh, really?
2 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, like that. As far as I know, it's not a big issue here. I don't think. I think it's possible, but I haven't heard of any.
Dude, my neighbor has had a MacBook delivered to her, right? So our doors are like this, right? Like basically corners of each other, right? So if we both open the doors, we can't, right? That's how close our doors are, right? And I opened the door the other day, and clearly it was a MacBook, right?
It's not an obscure packaging.
No,
like fragile.
no, it's just it's a MacBook, and I went.
This is a $2,000.
Right.
It's like, be careful.
Yeah.
It says like fragile.
Yeah.
There's a laptop in
Yeah.
there.
And
Very expensive laptop.
there's no way in hell this would fly in America,
No.
right? But I was like, oh wow, this is.
Yeah.
But I have a MacBook, so I'm like, I don't need it. But I was like, could you?
I mean, there's no CCTV
Right,
in
right.
front of Danny's
Yeah.
doors.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's like-
Yeah. So like shit like that is like very, very. I think it's positive,
Yeah.
But like we were talking about like before we open roll cameras, like. There's pros and cons of everything, right?
Sure.
Right. So like there's things about Korea, like I don't think I'll ever like about it.
Yeah.
But similarly, there's things about America I'll never like about either, right? So
I feel that very deeply today.
Right.
I think today it hit me.
Yeah. Why so?
Because I missed American food.
Really?
I was perfectly fine
Yeah.
the last
Yeah.
time. I was like, I don't need anything. I just give me the kukbap, whatever. Like I'm happy as a clam. And today I was like, I want a pizza.
Oh, you hit like
I'll
the
go to Costco
2 week
again.
mark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
today was 2
yeah.
weeks.
yeah.
That'll do it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm okay. That's good.
Because I
That's
saw you a
comforting.
week ago, and I was like, "Dude, what do you want to eat?" Like,
like,
and you're like,
everything.
Korean.
Yeah.
What
And
do
I was
you
like,
mean?
if you don't want Korea, we're in Korea, Bobby.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you just wait. It's like-
And
Fucking,
here I am.
fucking amateur shit. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh,
Yeah.
그래.
It's a process, you guys. I just
Yeah.
reached my milestone. No.
But like, that's at first I never understood why, like, when tourists from Korea, they travel the US. I don't know why they went to K-Town to eat, right?
Oh,
but I
yeah.
totally get it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, piece of home.
Yeah.
Well, so the thing that like destroyed me today, like literally and figuratively, when I wanted the proper American food, was my dad wanted it too, and we went to Burger King.
Mm.
As I think I reached the point. This is where God told me, Minji, you're not gonna ever eat Burger King again, because I ate that and we got in a taxi and was in that for like 35 minutes. I was about to throw up all over everywhere.
Oh no.
On top of the fact that like I just don't think, for me personally, the bread in Korea is different than American bread, and it's
Okay.
like really ultra soft.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wasn't feeling the burger to begin with. I was placating my dad, and like I humored him. We did the thing. He's all happy. I'm gonna like yak my brains out and die. So I was like, yeah, this is the end of Burger King for me. And I
Okay.
was like, I want like good American food. And
Well, there
Whatever.
goes our potential Burger King sponsorship. Thanks.
hey, the disclaimer: this does not represent the views of
I
the
love
Noonchi
Burger
podcast.
King. Burger King is like a special treat for me here, because like Burger King it's a little bit more expensive than McDonald's
It
here.
is.
So I'll go there. Let's say if I go to McDonald's twice a month, I'll go to Burger King once a month, something like that. So it's a balance thing for me.
So basically, Minji's like, she's gonna look at me and be like, "So what are your suggestions for food in
Yeah,
Korea?"
exactly.
Yeah.
No, but it was still nostalgic.
So did you have like a OG Whopper, or did you go for like those wacky shit like
I can't do the wacky stuff.
bulgogi, whatever?
My brother does that, and that's why he's got that covered. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Give me the Whopper.
yeah.
Crazy.
You went Whopper.
I'm safe on that in that way.
Yeah.
I was like, I want something reliable. Also, disclaimers about the Burger King thing. The first half was incredible. I was really happy because I wanted American food. It's just after I got in the taxi, it was not a good idea.
Oh yeah. I mean, the experience, is it the same though? You have to pay by monitor, right? You pick like.
I mean, they have that in the States.
They do that
now.
in the
yeah,
States too,
McDonald's
right?
everywhere they have like
Okay.
choose your own adventure, pick it up at this thing.
Choose your own adventure.
Oh, dude!
Yeah.
Like the other day, like I drank till about 5 a.m. right after the show, and I get in a cab, and as I give him my address and we're going there, I'm like, you know what? 5 o'clock is when McDonald's breakfast is open.
Yeah.
And I said, 기사님, detour, please. And dude, it was fucking popping. at
Really?
McDonald's.
Oh, is it really? A lot of people?
Yeah, in Shincheon. So I just went deet,
Yeah.
2 Egg McMuffins. And it tasted
Man.
just like home.
McDonald's
Yeah.
has a specific thing
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like consistency. I've eaten at McDonald's every country I've gone to.
Yeah.
Meg Morning. They call it Meg Morning.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then everything's like 줄은말, so they call it Megnar.
No.
What are you eating today? Megnar 먹자.
Yeah.
Instead of, yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, I guess in America it's LOL, right? You know,
Lol.
like
Lol.
that. They abbreviate things,
Yeah.
but in Korea, instead of abbreviate, they just shorten it with syllables,
Yeah.
right? So maybe we should give Minji a test. All right.
Okay.
What do you think? This probably isn't. If you watched a handful of dramas, it might come out. What do you think is?
Oh, I was told what this is. I'm not recalling right now. I don't know.
It stands for Ice Americano.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ice Americano.
But like,
Ice Americano.
but just I'm curious. Like, if someone comes and goes, 주세요, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I can't
fucking-
to this day, I don't order
Yeah.
it that way.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know I can,
Yeah.
but I still ask for Ice Americano.
Yeah. Do you Americano it or do you Americano it?
Americano.
Always very Korean.
Yeah.
I tried to, I wanted to be respectful. So I was like, let me be as phonetically respectful as I
Yeah.
can. But I found I hella slipped.
Yeah.
Americano, please. Americano.
치즈버거.
Oh, cheeseburger.
They have like whole sentences they just shorten out.
I heard this. Okay, my tax, not this Burger King sickness taxi driver, the one before that, he was going off. Older guy, and it was a total generational, like talking so much shit about how young Koreans have like butchered our language because they have like just abbreviated everything. He's like, I don't even know what they're saying anymore. I feel really mianed to him. I was like, oh, poor guy. He's just trying to.
The taxi driver?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like,
when you put in the headphones. Oh, 죄송합니다. 뭐 일해야 돼서.
Yeah. Well, he was talking with my dad, so I was
Okay.
like, I just have to listen.
This is not a shortened word, but now not only do they shorten words, they do cosmetics on words.
Cosmetics.
Basically, there's plastic surgery for lettering, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you guys know what a tengdengi is?
No.
Right? It's a dog. But why is tengdengi? If you spell, it's 멍멍이.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you know how the mium, you take the one thing out, so it's a tigut,
Yeah.
and it becomes a. So
Why?
I don't know why they
Why?
they
Why
do
did
plastic surgery to fucking letters,
When it's
Right,
written
right.
out.
right?
Wow.
I haven't heard that one.
Right.
That's interesting.
They say tengdengi, or like
Yeah.
instead of temori, they say momori. Right, so it's just basically they took
they changed-
took the one line off the mium to make
So
it.
is that not even cosmetic? It's just a laziness thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't want to write this extra like line. I don't want to go this far. I want to stop right here.
Yeah, so it's like stuff like that is kind of interesting and shocking to me because
It's a younger generation that's doing it.
Yeah.
So it's not like across the board, right?
So it's a Gen Z hatred across the world kind of thing. Like,
But like
I love Gen Z.
but it always changes. Like like when I first got here, the word was insa,
Insa, yeah.
right? Insa was short for insider, meaning like someone in the know.
Oh,
Right, like
okay.
someone who's hip, who knows all the trends or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then the opposite is asa, which is outsider.
outsider.
Oh, I
Right.
forgot that one.
Right, right.
I know Insa,
Right.
but they
I had heard that. I didn't know what
Yeah.
I mean.
did someone call me an Insa recently. But they use it in a way, oh, you're so popular.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
Does that
feel
work-
it from
works
the
then
tone,
too?
right? You
Okay.
felt complimented.
Yeah. Insa. But
Insa.
then, you know, when in Korea, they love to be called a hipster.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, right?
We
Back
talked about
home,
this with
but
Vivian.
back home, you don't want to be called a hipster. You're like, I'm an individual and I have my own style. But 되게 힙하네요. 그러면 like so, you know, like they're more like I want to be a part of a group
yeah.
here than they are individual.
That's for sure such
like,
a thing.
I'm sure there's exceptions, but as a whole, that's what I see.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
And I don't even think it's like a conscious. This is what I was working on, being really open to understand versus like assess it or whatever. It's just like I just want to like get an understanding. And I think that's a very and it is specifically because of this. Like we're so homogenous here. It's weird to be looking like everyone to blend. You know, I'm spitting all
It's
like
strange, right?
If I wear a mask and I'm like wearing my baggy jeans because that's what's in right now, like then I look like everyone else on the subway. My dad said it to me. He's like, "Yeah, you look like you live here," and that's such a weird thing. Whenever I'm back in the States, I'm very aware of how I am different, whether I like it or not. And I don't even resent it anymore. I'm just aware.
Yeah.
And then here, it's really like you blend. And I think a lot of people here, that is the goal, whether that's a conscious decision or not.
Yeah. I mean, I that's one of the reasons why I liked it here at first. Because for once, I felt like I just blend in with everyone else.
It's a free feeling. It was very like liberating.
Yeah.
I don't think I blend in.
Yes and no. Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, the joke that I say on stage, just because someone actually told me this when I first got here, is that you look like a 족발집 사장님, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like I own some sort of like pig feet restaurant or some shit. And I go, yeah, I get it, you know, because I'm fucking fat and, you know, like facial hair and, you know what I mean? Like I don't dress like the kids do. You know what I'm saying? But I think for Koreans, they can look at somebody and like tell if they're from here or they're not.
Yeah, apparently all kids have that superpower. Like they can tell if you're Kyopo or if you're...
I think I stick out here personally. I'm saying more than the state. So let me like rephrase. I think comparatively speaking, I blend in way more here than I do. I don't blend. I mean, blend in the diversity of the states.
Right.
But like, I think I stick out like a sore thumb in my context of like the Koreans because like from the foundation, y'all, like, I have color in my face. Like I'm not just, I was explaining this to my emo about like the difference of makeup because she wanted to buy some for me. And I was like, bro, there's nothing here that I would use back at home.
Oh, really?
Because the darkest skin tone of foundation will have makeup lesson. I would look like a ghost here.
That's another thing people
It's such a
can
different-
point out, like the difference in makeup too, apparently.
There's a hashtag called Kyopo makeup.
Oh, really?
Right? In Korea. And then it's basically they go, oh, like it's all very more darker, more like a different sort of caked on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the eyeliner is a little stronger or
Way
whatever.
stronger.
So stuff like that. So 저 언니 교포네. And I was like, how do you know? It's like, and then she showed me like on a Naver, like hashtag 교포 makeup.
I want to see that.
And I went, oh shit. Right. So, you know how like they say like in like Korean beauty trends or whatever, like people, you know, back in the days used to like make a deal with some like the face mask company and then they fucking it was all the rage in the US, but ultimately it's they want different shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
it's just different style. And that's what I also feel like that came out harsh. Like I think I would liken myself to a ghost if I put on that makeup. Okay. I don't think Korean girls look like ghosts. They look like Korean girls to me. And that's their version of beauty. And I think it suits them. And I'm like, oh, they look really lovely. I'm saying on me, I would look like Casper. Yeah. And it's just that difference because I'm used to being tan and then there's like the contouring blah, all this stuff I know you were just in Busan for a little bit, right? Yeah. And did you notice anything different
in Busan than in Seoul, besides the accents and stuff.
The accents are dope.
Yeah, right? It's kind of cool.
I liked it. I love the variety. People seemed a little bit taller there, or is that not true? I was told that by my Samchon what you were visiting.
Yeah.
He was saying that so many people from Seoul come there.
Oh, you have family that live there.
Yeah, he just moved there this year.
He just moved there.
Where are your parents originally from?
They are from Seoul. And then they moved to America in 1980. And then we've been Bay Area people, like California people, my whole life. And then but then my mom's side has stayed, most of them stayed in Korea. They were like Daejeon, Seoul. And then
Daejeon.
Now my dad's uncle moved here this year. Like a bunch of people have left California in general just because it's so freaking expensive.
Oh,
so everyone's scattering. So
Okay.
some people, my parents moved to Atlanta. Like their other relatives moved to Korea. Like
For the first time, they're on the East Coast? Oh, wow. That's a big change.
I know.
Are they okay with that?
they're happy as hell. They're like, they
Wow.
love it.
Because Atlanta, I mean, we were talking to Vivian last week about like how even her
her family's
over
there.
there. So like
Maybe and our parents
She
should
lived
hang
there,
out.
yeah.
and it's
Totally.
like mad like super affordable compared
Yeah.
to, you know,
Yeah, but the weather is so. I figure like when I get older, I want to be somewhere warm and, you know, I want to get away from the Four Seasons or like.
They actually kind of, so my parents have, and their friends were saying they liken the weather in the East Coast, at least in the South, to Korea.
Oh,
It's-
actually,
Because it's muggy
yeah,
and then
it's-
it gets cold, but it doesn't
super
necessarily.
it doesn't
Yeah.
snow there or anything like that,
No.
right? Okay.
But it's getting, climate change.
Yeah.
But it gets really cold in the winter. It gets super hot and sweaty. So in that way, they're like, oh, it reminds me of Korea.
Oh, wow.
And they said it has not bothered
Interesting.
them that much, even though a lot of them have been spoiled by California.
How long have they been in Atlanta? No.
Year and a few months.
Okay.
Yeah, they love it though.
Okay.
would you move to ATL as home base?
I actually thought about it because I really like it out there. I have really enjoyed, because of collaboration, I've been able to go to so many different places in America and actually see Asian America and America in general. I think Atlanta it's the same thing as you said, like pros and cons to everything. Would I miss California? Of course, 100%. But Atlanta has got a really good vibe. The people are really nice. There's not as much like this unspoken competition going on. Like,
Oh,
people
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
like, they care about, you know, their style. They care about what they're doing. They care about their passions, but they're not as caught up as I think LA or even San Francisco is.
Do you think you know, when it comes to the competition of it all, do you think it's because of the industry that we're
sure.
in? Like,
Well, it's industry, and it's the fact that I think it's like the climate, everything, and the industry for sure. It's a very, I'm not even saying this as like a judgment. It's more of just like observation.
Yeah.
Image does matter to a degree, and who you are as a person, how you present matters. I don't think it's a bad thing to care about it, but it's a very image conscious place. LA is insanely image conscious.
yeah,
It's like, and so that's partially with industry, because you're always trying to one up somebody and like
That's true.
get more attention than
So
so.
I feel like a lot of people are leaving. Well, LA at least. Recently, a lot of people going to Texas, to Atlanta. I don't know.
Vegas.
I'm from New York, so you know it was always that West is the best and East is, you know, don't give a fuck about rhyming. But then now it's like, you know, a lot of people are going more east now, and I'm totally missing that whole. But from what I remember in living LA, I do remember just the superficiality that did exist. A lot of people, there was a lot of like jealousy amongst even people that were minorities and trying to make it. Like I just thought it was silly. I didn't feel like I was above that and all, but then it started to affect me in ways too. And I feel like after being there 9 years, it was time to move on. So Korea like helped me reset. You know, Korea helped me reset in so many ways. But it also like put me in that category of having to really fend for myself and find a place for myself here. And I'm in a way still doing that. But overall, I think I made the right decision. Like, I love it here. I love feeling safe mostly. And I also love, you know, the things that I was like, I grew up with issues growing up, like not having health insurance all my entire life until I moved to Korea. I even was even afraid to get health insurance when I moved here.
He was telling me about his
Yeah.
whole health insurance thing, and that alone, I mean, especially now that we're all grown and
Yeah.
understand.
You know, you have an older
important.
brother who's a fucking physician, right?
Yeah, and he was my doctor. Like, you know, every time I have like an issue, I call him up or I take a photo of something. And then one time he actually he made me show him the problem.
Yeah.
And basically,
Hemorrhoids.
That's great for that.
Yo, man, he sent
So-
a picture. He sent his picture of his asshole to
I
his
didn't
older
send a
brother.
picture.
You know what?
I happen to be
You know
at
what? We're all people. We're all just.
All right. Okay, it
I don't
happened.
judge, Bobby.
Okay, it happened. I was at his house. It happened.
Come on, let me see it. Come on, let me
This
see
is the
it.
thing. We need to normalize
Yeah.
talking about our issues.
Thankfully, he just had to look at it once and like took like half a second. He was like, "Yeah, that's hemorrhoids." That's
You know what? Talk to every pregnant woman, every woman who's ever.
Yo, did he go down? Like, did he get low or did he
No, you
just?
sent a picture, right?
No.
no. I actually bent over
Yeah.
and I just spread the cheeks a little bit,
And
then,
or did he go in like a NFL football coach? Did he just arms folded, kind of like looking
basically
from a distance?
tilted head
Or
kind of thing.
You know
or
what?
did he go down and just like really come inside and be like, yeah, that's
You know
He has-
what? He's an experienced physician.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could, momentarily assess.
I mean, in his house, he has like surgical gloves in the bathroom and
Right,
stuff.
right.
So I knew that maybe like I wasn't, I was in a safe place.
Right.
Like,
I
he's not
respect
gonna,
that
like-
immensely. You know why? Because that to me is like that's problem solving and putting your own like whatever
Yeah.
aside.
Yeah.
That's a flex, I think.
what I'm saying is that like yes, he did not have health insurance all his life, but he had
A
a
doctor.
doctor in the family,
true.
which is a lot easier than different than like people that didn't have a doctor
Yeah.
in their family, and it's a bigger problem.
But this is why it's traumatic to me because I broke my nose as a kid. Like I went off a bicycle ramp when I was in like second grade, and I landed on my face.
Yeah.
And a bloody face for weeks. And it turned out I had a broken nose, but my parents were so afraid to take me to the hospital. They didn't. They just put me in bed and let me recover for about 2 weeks in bed. Because they were afraid if they took me to the hospital, it was going to cost us a lot of money.
right.
And so I knew that from a very young age. So I was always afraid to take chances when it came to physicality and like sports and anything like that.
It does. It really shapes like the way you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now like we have insurance, like my kids are like insured. And so, there's a part of me that wants to keep them safe and not take too many risks. But part of me is also like, they can recover. They can go to the hospital if need be.
Yeah.
So that's something I want to give them. That's why I feel like being in Korea gives me that a little bit more like, comfort.
Yeah, it's a
Like being
less
here.
of a crazy burden to think like if something happens to my kid, it's
Yeah.
going to destroy our family because now we can't feed anybody for the next.
But
Yeah.
the argument of like, well, Canada's like that or wherever, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
it's just, where we're from, right? So
Yeah.
like, clearly like when I had my surgery recently, the long story short, my left testicle was the size of a potato, a Wendy's baked potato.
Okay.
And then I had to go get surgery to get it drained, right? Because there was a lot of water filled in it. And I looked up how much it would cost in the US, and it would cost $20K
Okay.
to do it. Here it cost me $600. Right. So in that way, I go, okay, it is, it is
Yeah.
good to have insurance. Even without insurance, it would have been $1,200.
100%. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
without
yeah.
insurance, like as long as we're sharing medical stories, I'm looking into freezing my eggs, and it is infinitely more affordable here as a non-insured human being that just comes to Korea to get a
Yeah.
procedure done
Right.
versus America.
Yeah.
And for some reason too, this might be one of those prejudice things, right? I have to continue learning, but my bias is that I would be safer doing it here, or that the doctors would be competent in a way to like handle that in a way that I would have to it's my bias, but I'm like, I would have to like do some research and review of like how doctors handle it in America. If they're doing it just for money, are they like, do they have proper etiquette? Like blah, 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 all these other things that I have to be like careful about. I feel like a less anxiety finding if I would to do that in Korea.
Yeah.
I feel like I would be in better hands.
But how would you, I mean, how's your Korean? Do you read, write? Like,
I can read and write, but I don't know all the vocabulary. So
because like I can speak it fairly okay. I mean, I can do stand up I can do an hour set in stand up in Korean. But if you give me like medical, like, yo, this is what's going to happen. I'm like, you know what?
this is why I would go with a family member.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we have family that come to do like different kinds of, whether it's like a full body checkup. My brother comes every year and he'll do that. And I go with him and I go to each room with him. But they also come for like, we have friends and family that come for plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And my wife will like help them and do all the translation, make sure that there's like,
that's so kind.
So just because, I mean, if you don't fully speak the language, you have to have a certain amount of comfort, like going into something like that.
Because dude, I had nobody to go with me. I mean, to the surgery. But I told them not to go. Yeah. Because I was like, this is going to be a bit later down in the line. This is going to be a joke somewhere down. So I need this to be tough and awkward, right?
Wow.
Right. So that I can write.
Sacrifice.
I have about 8 minutes of material, right? Just from finding out I had an abnormally big ball to getting
going
a check.
Through the procedure.
To like the aftermath of it. It's about 7-8 minutes of just nonstop rip roaring fun, right? But I was like, guys, like, because he was like, yo, usually during I have to stay overnight, so somebody like a chaperone or whatever is there, right? I'm like, nah, it's cool, don't come, right? And so, but they're always asking me things. They're giving me like like all this paperwork, all like sign here, sign there, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, all right, man. I mean, I guess whatever.
Here we go.
Yeah. Like I started trying to read like 3 sentences. I was like, you know what?
No.
Fuck it, get out.
I almost messed up by not asking enough questions when I got my deviated septum fixed. Right? I just wanted the deviated septum surgery. But I didn't know that I agreed to actually getting a nose job.
Oh, so you're going to come out looking like a K-pop guy.
Yeah. So they were like, the day of the surgery, they make you sign. They're like, this is what it's going to cost. This is what costs. And I was like, wait, how come it's so much? It's like, doesn't my insurance cover this? I thought my insurance covered most of this. And they're like, oh, well, this part is cosmetic, so your insurance doesn't cover it. And I was like, cosmetic?
What cosmetic?
It's like, yeah, this part, we're going to lift your nose, put like something in there and just so you'll look different, but you'll breathe better too down the line, they said. That's where they hooked me in. But then I was like, but is it necessary for just the insurance part? Like, and they're like, no, it's not necessary. So I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay,
like,
so there's sketchy upselling doctors everywhere is what you're saying.
So I just signed off.
This is why I'm getting educated. I'm so glad.
So day of, like, I said, I don't want that part. And they're like, oh, actually, it's going to be a lot easier then. So, like, you'll be out sooner than you need to be.
Yeah, of course. So, everyone wants to make money. They're going to upsell you on everything, right?
Yeah. Do you have a picture of, did they do an imaging of like what you would look like with your different nose?
No, they didn't do that for me. So I clearly did not know what's going on. So.
That's so messed up. You can't give someone a whole ass different face and just be like, trust me. Like, isn't the point is to like, hey, I'm doing this because I want to look a certain way. Yeah. There needs to be agency in the like.
But here's the thing. My wife was in on it a little bit. So she was okay with it because she sat with me through it also. And she's like, it was a good idea. She thought it was a good idea. And I was like, well.
Honey, I didn't want to tell you this.
So we had a long talk about that. We're like, do you not like how I look? Is there something like, are you tired of this face?
Because your children are also going to have this face in case you didn't
She's like, I want you to look at me when I'm talking. You face me with your crooked ass nose.
It is crooked. They were going to straighten it also. So, but I'm like I got it when I was 42, 43. Right. So I'm not that concerned about changing my appearance. at this point, right? So, but a lot of people, I don't like judge people that do. You know, a lot of people get it later in life because it's just like, oh, now it's time. I'm like, but I'm just like okay with the way my crooked face looks.
Like speaking of like coming to Korea for plastic surgery, I know a few girls, right, who come here with their parents when they're like in high school or whatever, and to be honest, without their real consent, get 쌍꺼풀 surgery.
Without
whose
consent.
real consent?
Without the kids' consent. So the parents.
The parents?
Yeah.
See.
Yeah. I've dated one girl that was like that, and then two of them was like, it was a consultation, and next thing she knows, she wakes up with swollen eyes.
Oh man, are you serious? That's traumatic, dude. See, the American in me, I want to like go on a riot on that. And I understand that me having a strong opinion about that would not be well received by a lot of people, but I've struggled with like plastic surgery issues my whole life in terms of like internal. I haven't gotten anything done, but I've thought about it for most of my life at this point. And there's something like that personal, it like touches a very sensitive personal nerve when I hear stuff like that. And I'm trying to understand too and not be so quick to judge. But man, at the end of the day, I think that's fucked up. You can't like...
Yeah, I mean...
To like go under and wake up with a different face?
All the... usually it was the girls, right? They're Korean Americans, so they come visit, see the family. Oh, 여기 뭐 go ahead, like 한번 그냥 가보자. Oh, yeah, okay. And then wake up fucking swollen eyes, whatever, right? And then we also have, what do you call it? Circumcisions are actually cosmetic too, to be honest, right? And then our friend,
I guess so.
He
got a non-consensual circumcision?
Yeah.
At like 13.
What?
But this story is kind of wild though. So our friend, right? He was born in Korea, but he moved with his family when he was super young, right? And then he comes for the first time when he's about 13, right, with his parents. So his mom goes, "Oh, we got to go to the doctor for something." He's like, "All right." So it's for circumcision, but it's like not even like a big ass hospital. It's like an office building with like corked ass fucking ceiling. You know what I mean? Whatever, right? So and then there's like comic books for him to read, and he could hear his mom like bargaining
for a lower price.
But ironically, the term is 깎아주세요, which is what's gonna fucking happen. Right. Okay. Right. And so he doesn't know what's going on, but like as an adult, he's like, "Mom, he's gonna touch my dick." Like. Give him more than he asked for. Like, I don't want him to be mad about like this procedure. Right. And so after they agreed on the price, his mom gave him like money. And he goes, "Oh, I gotta go meet my friends. So you go back home after the surgery."
She gave him bus fare.
They didn't even give him taxi money, gave him bus money, right? So like
go over every pothole.
Yeah. So and on top of that, like he's like, barely in his teens now, right? Yeah. So he has to like wear like a Dixie cup, right? Like, like in his crotch.
They basically tape a Dixie cup on top and then just let you out into the world.
So everyone knows as you're walking down the street that this motherfucker got circumcised.
He's walking slow, like a duck.
Okay, in my head, I had like you wear a Dixie cup and then you put your like your sweats or something over that.
Yeah,
but you still like
okay. Imagine having this protrude out. Okay. Right, like you know what I mean. Like
this guy, he's like inching his way to the next spot. People, that motherfucker got it.
Oh, okay.
And when you're 13, like you hit puberty, so like you're gonna have morning wood at 13, right? So he just got circumcised, so it's gonna hurt every morning. You know what I mean? So
and then he took the bus, of course, and then it's like the bus every I can't even imagine.
See, and this is a cultural thing. It's a generational thing about like bodily autonomy and like who has what say. Because like in America, you can say like even commentary is like invasive, right? Like if you comment on my body, it's like fuck you. You don't have any right to say anything about this. And so it's such a different attitude, and that's where I think the offense is different, because like in here, if somebody's saying, oh, you're fat, or like you need to change your eyes, they like some people think that that's like a helpful comment. Like, I'm just trying to help you improve.
No, but you know what's very interesting though? So Koreans say this a lot, even like friends. Oh, 살쪘네? Like you got fat, right? Which as an American in the beginning, I was like, yo, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
But then when I come back with my things of what they need to change, which is
need to change,
which I can be really brutal, right? And when I do it, they go, and I go, so 네가 하는 거는 괜찮은데 내가 하는 거는 안 괜찮아? Go fuck yourself. And then they'll be like, oh, okay. Because, you know, like, there's a dude, oh, 형 살쪘네. This dude has, like, terrible acne scars. And I said, your black and white photo looks like a fucking QR code, motherfucker. Like, get out of here, right? You know what I mean? You know? I can make French fries with your fucking sesumul, you motherfucker, right? And I would go crazy on him. And then he goes, oh, and I go, okay, so are we going to keep on talking about appearance? Because I'm really good at this, right? And then they go, okay. But people say that as not to be even offensive. Yeah. But it's just kind of like their knee-jerk reaction of, you know, like there's a thing, there's a phrase that a lot of Koreans say that it doesn't mean what it really means, which is 이따가 밥 먹자.
이따 밥 먹자.
Like let's go meet
later.
up, not like later today, but like down the line, let's have.
That's equivalent of like let's grab a bite.
Yeah. But it's never really dinner. It's just a bye-bye. You know what I mean? You know?
It's the same in America. That's why people get so annoyed. It's like, let's
hey, we should hang out.
Yeah, we should hang out.
Yeah.
There are many bits on that.
But it's all these types of like phrases. Like you know, 살쪘다 doesn't mean, I mean, you gained some weight, but it doesn't mean to poke at your self-esteem. Right. You know what I mean?
But then what you did when you countered that was to poke at his self-esteem.
Of course, yeah.
But then that's your way of educating, hey, what you're saying to me is poking at my self-esteem?
No, I know I got fat. I have a mirror at home.
No, you but I'm even saying, like, you can also respond saying, like, hey, when you say that, blah, 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 that's like the therapist version of like, when I hear that, I feel. But instead, it's just like, no, you're going to like rip this guy's face apart.
Right.
But like his intentions towards you was not to offend you.
Yeah.
But that's Danny.
Yeah. I was like, you look like, you know, when you get like poorly made pizza and all the toppings fall out when you lift it. That's what your fucking face looks like.
Oh my god.
And he's like, wow.
Oh my god.
And he never commented on weight ever again.
Dude. But in the opposite way, like when I notice someone has lost weight, I always make a point to say, "Oh, you lost weight." And they most often they appreciate it. They like it. With Koreans, I'm speaking specifically.
I mean, but anybody.
I guess. Yeah, but I always make it a point, like, but if they haven't, it looks like they gained weight. I normally don't say anything.
Of course,
right?
Because that's a collective understanding. That's under this broad assumption and knowledge that we know saying somebody is overweight is an insult. That's a lot of us can like categorize that fairly well based on many things.
In virtually all cultures, being fat is not a compliment. In virtually all cultures.
I get this a lot. They're like, oh, dark circle, 많이 피고신, like they're like, it's like the dark circle thing. I guess it's just I know. Like, you don't have to tell me. Like, remind me that I like.
Yes, I'm fucking tired. I have children.
I don't mind. I'm used to it though. Now, like in terms of like people pointing out my appearance, like I'm just like, I'm fine with it. I decided to live here, so I'm okay with certain things.
I think that's a very mature thing. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people who have that level of tough skin because they're acclimated to it. They know, they're like, all right, I know what I signed up for.
Yeah.
But like, But that's the thing. I can't come here and like just criticize. This is my nature. Like I'll come and be like, these are all the things I think are wrong with it. Based on what my experience is. But I have that's my choice to just like let it be.
Yeah.
But I also say on a human evolution level, like culture always changes. Because this is what I'll say about America too. This is like what I've griped about being an Asian actress, which is like we've all dealt with that specific community, which is Asian representation in media being American media, Western media, right? And like the stereotype geisha girl, da-da-da-da-da thing. And it's like, I'll tell you, like the makeup front has been, it seems trivial to somebody who it doesn't matter to, but seeing that as women, our beauty or how we look is so paramount to our value as a human being, which is a big thing that we're trying to break apart because it's fucking old at this point. But like that's been ingrained in me. If I'm pretty, I am worthwhile. And if I'm not, then like I am dog shit and I don't deserve anything good in life. That's like how I have felt in a lot of my life. But like in makeup, this is what I noticed when I get my makeup done as an actress on commercials or whatever. Getting my makeup done by a non-Asian, most of the time it is a non-Asian makeup artist, they don't know how to do my eyes. And it would really, really bother me because they would make my eyes look really slanted and really like, but to them, they're like, you look gorgeous. And I don't think that they're like, they're not lying to me. They really are like admiring me. And they're like, you're just so lovely. I love your almond shaped eyes. But the way they do my makeup, it make my eyes like this big. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying inside. And I'll talk to other Asian actresses and they've encountered in like so many variations, man. It's such a different interpretation of what is attractive, what is beautiful.
I want you to get a gig out here and see what the difference is.
That's what I'm scared of. I legit had said this to my friends. They're like, oh, go to Korea and go act there. And I was like, they would never. Like, I don't think I am a desirable or like appealing face. And I've heard that from Korean actresses where they're like, they know that they don't fit a certain type of like 이쁜이, like 배우 kind of face, right? So they're like, I would be relegated to being a really funny comedic actress. That's where my body type and my lack of perfection in feature, skin, etc. I could thrive there and nowhere else. And that's that the Noonchi that I think Koreans have such like, it's a strength and it's also like so debilitating because like, I was like, I could never.
I think to a certain degree that's like all true, but like,
but that's like that in Hollywood too.
But that's what I'm saying.
I mean, like that's not Asian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you think of leading man, leading woman in a movie, right? Rom-com, whatever. Like, no one's built like looks like me.
But every now and then they're trying to break that.
Maybe it's Jack Black.
Yeah.
Right?
Or it's like Seth Rogen and Knocked Up. They make a point of it, like to be like, But I think there's opportunities though. I think you're probably right on the majority of like things you can book here. Probably they go by that standard, but like, you never know. Like I would love to see you try at least.
I would love to try. And so with that awareness, I thought about it. I was like, okay, if you know this and go like everything's changing. So I always have, you never know. You never know. But probably like it's not. And if that's the case, would that still like prevent me from trying? I was like, no, I'll still like if the opportunity presented itself, it'd be fun to try. I'd say that like I did it and see what happens because because any one-off could be the next wave.
Right.
And to be as humbly aware that wave comes and goes just like everything else does.
Yeah.
So that goes to a bigger thing, which I talk about on my podcast a lot, is like the identity stuff is like, if you're identifying that your value or like your success is only like based on if you become a celebrity and all that stuff, which I'm so like immersed in Hollywood, then like I'm just gonna be tired and resentful and like feeling shitty my whole life.
Yeah.
So that's what it has taught me, that it can't hinge on that. Like if it's doing really fun stuff with like people that I enjoy spending time with, you make people laugh and cry, and then like that will be my measuring stick.
Yeah.
But internally I'll still be struggling with my looks. Like that's the truth of it. Like I'll still be like, so and so is way prettier than me, and but like that's life. And I'll write about it.
You just reminded me. I was on your podcast a long time ago when I was still living in Korea. And I remember one time I flew in and I was jet lagged and I did your show. You're still doing it. Yeah.
That one, no.
Was it a collab cast? I don't remember what it was, but I did a show.
Were you on my mind?
it was with Megan. Megan was a guest. I was a guest. I think it was at your place.
It was
at the time.
Collabcast.
Oh,
you were
okay.
really tired.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't fly in just for that, right?
No, I just happened to be like
okay. I was
flying.
like,
in,
Jesus,
like,
what kind of something you pay for that show?
No,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
She never called me.
I like brittle water. It's brittle water. Crafty,
What's the
okay?
podcast you're doing now, though?
It's my personal one called First of All.
First of all, okay.
Yeah. So Collabcast was like Asian American creatives.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our work. Let's complain. Let's like laugh. Let's celebrate all that.
Yeah.
Mine is about whatever I want to talk about, which
Okay.
is plastic surgery and beauty standards and dating and mental health and trauma and all that stuff.
Is it with,
all that fun stuff.
guests or
Yeah.
you do it? It's always with a guest.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, no. I've actually, because producing a freaking, hats off to both of you guys, because producing a show is just, it's no joke. It's really, really a lot of work.
Thank you.
And then, so I'm validating from someone who knows. But like, it became really fun for me to start doing solo stuff. It was first a necessity just because I couldn't get a guest.
Oh, yeah.
But then I found it was pretty therapeutic. And so I started every once in a while doing solo.
I'm curious, like in the beginning, didn't it feel weird to just like talk for however long?
Oh, yeah.
Just to whatever your thoughts are. And, you know, as you're talking, you go, people want to fucking, do people even care about this shit?
100%.
Yeah. That's the part that I am so impressed with, people that do shows primarily by themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And weekly, some people do it twice a week. I'm like, you have that much to say?
Yeah.
Fucking every week. Jesus. Like, you know, like, you know.
Well, the good ones, like I listened to Bill Burr's Monday morning podcast, which he does twice a week.
Yeah,
it's not always on Mondays, but he does alone.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's good.
Yeah, Bill
some
Burr's
people
hilarious.
like.
I mean, but he's been doing it for like 14 years. So like, you know, so I think he's used to it.
Yeah.
But like, I remember when we had a podcast and then, or I had to do it by myself a few times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went, this fucking stinks.
Yeah.
like I don't know how to do it. Right. So
That's crazy. Cause that is very like, actually not surprising, but I'm like, it's interesting to hear that because you're so comfortable doing, but that's a planned set when you're doing comedy.
Because, you know, it usually it's kind of like what happened this week. Right. And then that kind of, that snowballs into certain thoughts and, you know, certain premises that you want to just tackle, you know, whatever. Right. So
So is it easier now?
I don't do it by myself.
Oh, you just want,
and even if it's someone,
weird bump that happened.
Even if it's someone like Bobby who sometimes doesn't give me anything back, I still need somebody to talk to. You know,
sometimes I'll walk away because I'll take a phone call or something, and then he'll be just talking by himself.
And I'm like,
when he's there, your security blanket.
No, but I go, you know, we are rolling, and he takes a fucking phone call. You know,
you were joking when y'all said that you're very relaxed about this.
And I'm like, and then he goes, I wonder why people aren't watching. I was like, because motherfucker, you take a goddamn phone call and you think that people think that's
that
cute.
Could become a bit. It's like, what will Bobby do this episode?
Someone told me they were dying when they saw that episode.
Yeah,
where I took
that
the phone
one
call.
out of 200 people that saw it.
I do it for the one. I do it for the ones and twos. I do it for like
plucking your eyebrows. You're like, I have a thing to go to after this.
So that I was like, Jesus, this is why we're not growing. But you know,
well, we passed the hour mark, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
Like things flew by. I wanted to say, this is actually our last podcast episode in this studio. So you caught us at the tail end of us filming this here.
Yeah.
This
so
space.
It's been a very special space for us.
I'm honored.
And thank you for being here today.
Well, congratulations to you guys. That's a huge.
We're actually moving on to
a different spot.
It's going to be interesting. I won't say yet, so you guys can tune in for next time.
Yeah.
But it was. We want you to plug anything you want, like the podcast, what you're working on. When you're coming back, you got to come visit us again.
I will, for sure. Thank you for having me. If anyone wants to check it out, it's First of All Podcast. It would be cool to have, if you have listeners in Korea for that, I would love to translate. There's things that I'm curious about a cultural exchange. So if anyone's down for that, email me. or DM me or whatever. Yeah, I'm starting to write and direct. I've been having years of reading other people's bad scripts. I want to start writing my own.
Oh yeah, that's good motivation for sure.
I was like, I can't be worse than this.
Yeah.
So, and then we're surrounded by so many creative people. Like, I can't fail. I feel like.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and
I'm
you have
reassuring
me and
myself.
Danny. We've written bad scripts, so like, we can give.
And we've made
plenty
feature
of
films out of it. It's seen the light of day.
So many people have done this.
And it ate shit. But I think I've talked about. We both talked about this before. But I remember when we would see like indie films before we ever made a movie, and we're like going to auditions or whatever, and we're like, "Oh, that fucking sucks," right?
Yeah.
And after making our own films, I never say that about any indie. I go, you know what?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
100%.
You somehow got it done.
Yep.
From idea to martini
so much
shot
respect
and
for
distribution.
anybody
Go for it. So
that's awesome.
yeah, it's definitely humbling, but also to some people it's it is a stepping stone for them to do more shit, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I want.
And
people
for our listeners, if Minji says she's gonna write a script and make a movie, she's gonna do it. Like she's like a go-getter. She'll actually
Thank you.
be good on her word.
God
So
damn, that's a lot of pressure.
No, but this is why I say stuff out loud, and that's why I'll say. I think I respect you guys so much for like being open and what you're doing, but even saying like, "Hey, I feel awkward talking into a microphone," because that's the. Anything you do, the beginning is so awkward. It is so excruciating. But I think that's something that's the hurdle. Like, if you want the thing you want, you just get over that.
Right.
And that's honestly, like, strangely, a takeaway I'm taking from Korea, that I'm constantly re-evaluating myself at every step. Like, I have a different comfort and discomfort threshold.
Right.
I may become really, really chill about XYZ. And then this new thing comes up and I'm like, this is making me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I feel really embarrassed. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm being received. And that being here has been a really good reminder of that's it's just another discomfort point. It sucks, but it's like, okay, then I just got to learn my way through it. So if it's like the Korean entertainment industry, which I'm very curious about, I'll approach it. I'm prepared to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that's a key takeaway I'm taking from here. And I'm just like really excited by what you guys are doing. I met up with him the day after he went viral. I was like, this is wild, because I never actually thought about the comedy scene in Korea being the way that you are now infusing this new crossover. And that's amazing. That's a huge shift in like openness to new ideas, self-reflection, all that. That's what stand-up comedy does, whether people like it or not. So mad respect to both of you guys for like making your stuff. It will continue to inform my courage, hopefully. Because this is why I say shit out loud. I was like, I said it on the podcast. I have to do it.
Yeah,
we're going to hold you to it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna call it. 야인아, 왜 안 썼어 이 씨발? 네가 한다면 하는 거 아니야?
Danny's my brutal voice of reckoning. I can rely on that. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks again. And I guess we'll go get some Burger King now. We really wanted some.
This was sponsored by the new Whopper.
Okay. Well, anyway, we'll see you guys next week, and please check out Minji's stuff. We're gonna put all our stuff in what do you call it, in the description and all that stuff. So, all right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.